The last school bell echoed like a warning siren in the quiet hallway. Aisha slung her backpack over her shoulder and stepped out into the pale evening light. The sky was already turning violet, clouds stretching like bruises across it. She stayed late for debate club practice, and now, for the first time, she had to walk home alone. Her friends lived in the opposite direction, and her father was stuck at work. "It's just a short walk," she told herself, tightening her grip on the straps. But the neighborhood looked different at dusk, empty, watching, as if the trees themselves leaned in to listen. Aisha was a thoughtful, responsible ninth grader. She'd always been the one to walk younger cousins home, to double-check locks at night. Yet tonight, every step felt heavier. The street that seemed lively in daylight now stretched like a tunnel. She pulled out her phone to call her father but hesitated. He'd only worry. She put it back, took a deep breath, and walked faster. She reached the narrow alley shortcut her classmates used. In daytime it was noisy with bicycles and vendors, but now it lay abandoned. The only sound was her own footsteps and the metallic drip of a broken pipe. Halfway down, she sensed it, a soft shuffle behind her. Not a cat, not the wind, something packing her. She turned sharply. No one, only shadows where the flickering streetlight didn't reach. Her heart thudded. She remembered her mother's words. "Fear isn't weakness, it's a signal, listen to it." Aisha quickened her pace, the echo of footsteps matching hers, then lagging, then catching up again. She broke into a run. The air grew colder, heavy with a smell like damp earth. Ahead, the alley opened onto a small park, dark but at least open. She ran toward it, her breath ragged. In the park, she finally saw it, a figure at the edge of the swings. It was tall, thin, hunched, its face blurred as if the darkness itself clung to it. Its head cocked sideways like a bird studying prey. The streetlight behind it flickered once and died. Aisha froze. Every instinct screamed to run, but her knees locked. The figure began moving, slow, deliberate, dragging a foot. Then, through her panic, Aisha remembered something from debate practice. Control the narrative, control the fear. She forced herself to breathe in through her nose, out through her mouth, never taking her eyes off the figure. "I'm not weak," she whispered. She took a step back, then another, steady and slow. The figure hissed, a sound like dry leaves. It stepped forward. Aisha spun and bolted toward the main road, praying for headlights. She could feel the air shift behind her, a cold draft brushing her neck like fingers. The park path twisted and seemed longer than she remembered. She thought she heard whispers, her name or something like it, sliding along the wind. She focused on one thing, the glow of a shop sign at the street's end. Her lungs burned, her legs screamed, but she ran until she burst out onto the main road, into the light and noise of traffic. She stumbled into a convenience store, nearly knocking over a rack of chips. The shopkeeper rushed to her side. "Beta, are you all right?" he asked, concerned. Behind her, the street was empty, no sign of the figure, but the cold still clung to her. She told him what happened in fragments. He listened gravely and called her father. Later, safe at home with her parents, Aisha sat wrapped in a blanket. She couldn't shake the memory of the blurred face. Her father hugged her tightly. "You did the right thing," he said. "You listened to your fear and got yourself to safety." Her mother added softly, "Fear is there to protect you, but courage is moving anyway." That night, Aisha couldn't sleep. She replayed every moment, but something shifted inside her. She realized she had survived because she trusted herself. The next morning at school, when her friends laughed about ghost stories, she didn't tell them what happened in detail. But when one younger student said she hated walking home alone, Aisha offered to walk with her. Weeks passed, and she began volunteering to escort younger kids home, teaching them to plan safe routes and trust their instincts. The memory of the dark figure still haunted her dreams, but now it also fueled her purpose. What tried to scare her into silence instead gave her a voice, to protect, to guide, to make others feel safe. And that was the true ending of her horror story. She refused to let the darkness win.
McDonald's, one of the world's most famous fast food restaurants. Even though it's not very healthy, it can be very convenient, since McDonald's is open 24 hours a day. But even in such a fun and friendly place, strange things can happen, that even if you try it, you aren't able to forget them. Something like this happened to me, a story so unnerving and terrifying that I'll never forget. It happened 3 years ago. When I was 17, I was in desperate need of a job because to complete my education, I needed to pay off my college fees. Finally, I got a job in McDonald's. To make my boss happy, I had to work whatever shift he asked me to do, whether it be a night or a day shift, and to work as many hours as he wanted. At this point, I had been working at McDonald's for 3 months, but I had only been working day shifts. One day my boss called me into his room and told me that because I had been working at McDonald's for months now and gained a lot of experience, I was ready for night shifts. My boss also told me that night shifts can be very quiet and asked me if I had a problem with it. I told him that no, it wouldn't bother me. My boss told me that I would start my night shifts from Saturday, that'd be from 12 o'clock till 5 o'clock. I arrived at McDonald's at 12 o'clock on Saturday. My manager told me that my tasks were to refill the ketchup, mayonnaise, and barbecue sauce bottles, clean the floor, and clean the tables. He gave me a long list of things to do. After telling me everything, the manager went home. McDonald's was fairly quiet that night, but I didn't really notice the silence because I was busy in my work. I needed to do a lot. As I was doing my work, I never really noticed the time. And suddenly, it was 2 o'clock. It was a little odd. I noticed that no customers arrived in McDonald's until that time, but I was fine with it. I just wanted to finish my work quickly, since tomorrow I had to report it to the manager. I was arranging coffee cups on the table when I suddenly felt like I was being watched. It was a weird feeling, but I took no notice of it. I told myself that since I had no experience of working late, the weird feeling was because of me staying up. Suddenly my eyes glanced at the window. When I looked out, I saw a strange black shape, like someone was standing right there staring at me. And I just thought, that must be my imagination. Who would stand outside at this time of night? I continued my work again, started cleaning the tables. A bit later, attention went to the window again. Now it seemed that the black shape was closer, but I reassured myself that I was just seeing things. Nothing of that sort was happening. It was due to tiredness. Then I decided not to look outside anymore and focus on cleaning the tables. So I continued working. I was busy doing my work when I heard a noise. I immediately looked outside. And when I did, my fears were confirmed by Demon, whose eyes were red like blood, was staring at and constantly banging on the window. I couldn't stay there for a minute longer. I immediately hung the closed sign on the front door, got into my car, and ran for my life. I was terrified. I called my manager and told him that due to sickness, I was going home. My manager said that it was fine, I could go. I didn't want. Foreign had always been adventurous, never the one to shy away from a dare or a thrill. So, when her friends challenged her to drive alone on the desolate, eerie stretch of highway known as Whispering Hollow Road, she accepted without hesitation. It was a moonless night, and the only light came from the dim glow of her car's headlights, which seemed to slice through the darkness like a fragile lifeline. The dance words on either side of the road loomed like silent sentinels, their branches reaching out to claw at the car as she sped down the narrow, winding path. The wind whispered through the trees, creating eerie, ghostly sounds that sent shivers down Jenna's spine as she drove deeper into the heart of a spring hollow road. Jenna's Creed the road twisted and turned seemingly endless, with no signs of civilization, and sight couldn't help but wonder why this place was so infamous among the locals. The stories she had heard were full of ominous warnings, tales of travelers who had ventured onto this road and had never returned. Suddenly, the radio crackled to life. It had been silent the entire journey, but now it emitted a distorted voice. Jenna's heart pounded in her chest, and she tried to make sense of the eerie message. The voice hissed, almost inaudible, but distinct enough to send a chill down her spine. Her grip on the steering wheel tightened, and she pressed her foot harder on the accelerator. She was determined to prove that she wasn't afraid of a few ghost stories. The road seemed to stretch on forever, and Jenna's nerves were on edge. Shadows danced at the edge. Her vision and strange shape started across the road in front of her. She couldn't tell if they were real or figments of her imagination. As Jenna rounded a particularly sharp curve, her headlights illuminated something that made her blood run cold. A pale, ghostly figure standing in the middle of the road. It was a young girl, her long, wet hair clinging to her face. The girl stared at Jenna with hollow, empty eyes, and Jenna could feel a profound sense of dread washing over her. She had heard stories of a ghostly hitchhiker who haunted this road, a tragic spirit seeking a ride to her final destination. Summoning every ounce of courage, Jenna spoke. "Are you okay?" Jenna quickly realized that coming here was a huge mistake. She wanted to get out of here as fast as possible. Suddenly, the radio started crackling again. "I think I've just one more mile to go, then it'll be all over. I'll never have to come back here again." Stupid radio. Why is it not turning off like many others who took a wrong turn and got lost on Whispering Hollow Road? Jenna sadly never returned back, and no one will ever know what happened to her meme. The first time I felt it, I thought I was imagining things. You know, that prickly sensation, like static dancing across your skin, the kind that makes the tiny hairs on the back of your neck rise. It was late at night, and I was standing under the warm stream of the shower, letting the day's exhaustion wash away. My apartment was quiet, too quiet, almost heavy with silence. Then it hit me, that undeniable feeling of being watched. At first, I told myself I was paranoid, that maybe the silence was just playing tricks on my mind. But when I reached to wipe steam off the glass, my breath froze in my chest. There, through the foggy blur of condensation, I thought I saw a shape, a shadow, someone standing in my bathroom. My name is Anna, and I had moved into that apartment just 2 months earlier, desperate for a fresh start. Life had been rough, a bad breakup, bills piling up, and nights filled with an ache of loneliness that sometimes felt unbearable. So, when I found this old but affordable unit in a quiet building, I thought I was lucky. But sometimes, the things that seem like blessings hide the darkest curses. The night I first saw that shape, I flung open the shower curtain, soap still clinging to my skin, but no one was there. Just the still, damp air. My bathroom door was locked. My heart pounded so loud it echoed in my ears. I convinced myself it was my imagination. Still, I barely slept. Every creak of the building felt like footsteps. every hum of the pipes like a whisper. Days passed, but the feeling only grew stronger. I'd catch shadows flickering in the corners of my vision, the faintest sound of breathing in empty rooms. At night, I swore I heard the soft squeak of the shower handle turning on its own. I tried telling myself I was just stressed, but deep down, something inside me whispered the truth. I wasn't alone. The real terror came 2 weeks later. It was another late night, the kind where exhaustion hits like a weight, and all you want is to feel clean before crawling into bed. I stepped into the shower, steam fogging the mirror. That prickling sensation returned, more intense this time, crawling over every inch of my skin. My stomach twisted. Slowly, I turned my head toward the foggy glass door. And then I saw it, clear as daylight this time. A man's face, pale, gaunt, with hollow eyes that seemed to bore straight into me. He wasn't standing in the room. He was inside the glass, inside the reflection, watching me. I stumbled back, slipping against the tiles, my scream drowned by the sound of rushing water. My hand flew to the knob, fumbling to shut it off. But when I opened the curtain, nothing was there, no man, no face. Just me, trembling, dripping, heart racing so fast, I thought it might burst. That night, I didn't sleep at all. I sat on the couch with every light on, clutching my phone. But here's the thing. Fear has a strange way of shifting into obsession. I couldn't stop thinking about that face. Who was he? Why was he there? And why did it feel like he was trying to tell me something, not just scare me? I began to research the building. That's when I found the story. Years ago, a man named Daniel had lived in my apartment. He was quiet, kept to himself, but neighbors recalled strange things, muttering to himself in the halls, shadows in his windows, even when the lights were off. One night, he was found dead in the very bathroom I showered in. The cause was ruled suicide, but rumors said otherwise. Some claimed he'd been obsessed with mirrors, that he believed someone was trapped inside them. Others whispered he had gone mad from loneliness. I should have moved out then. I should have run. But instead, something inside me ached for him. For the first time, I felt like I understood him. I knew the suffocating weight of loneliness, the ache of an empty home. I knew how the silence could feel alive, like it was pressing in from every corner. But then things turned darker. The face no longer appeared only in the shower. I'd see it in the bathroom mirror as I brushed my teeth, in the black screen of my TV, even in the faint reflection of the window glass at night. His hollow eyes followed me everywhere, unblinking. He was watching me, waiting. One evening, I couldn't take it anymore. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, heart hammering, and whispered, "What do you want?" For a moment, nothing happened, just my trembling reflection. Then the lights flickered. My reflection's mouth moved, but it wasn't mine. His lips formed a single word, "Stay." I staggered back, knocking over the soap dish. Tears welled in my eyes. He didn't want to hurt me. He wanted me to stay, to be his company, to fill the emptiness that had consumed him even in death. that moment, my fear twisted into something else. Pity. Sadness. But pity can be deadly. That night, as I lay in bed, I dreamed of him. I dreamed I was drowning in steam, the shower filling with water, his hands on the glass, begging me to open the door. When I woke up, the shower was running on its own. The steam clung to my walls like a living thing, and written in dripping letters across the bathroom mirror was the word, forever. I broke down. I screamed. I prayed. I begged him to leave me alone.